Okay, so it is about 2 a.m. and we're gonna go and pick up Gabor and Reuben and start to Spain.
Just for the record, it's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and we are having the first beer.
Start the day.
Yeah, to start the day. A nice breakfast. A little Americano coffee and a beer.
This is a flight going to Barcelona.
The three of us traveled to Spain in the summer of 2015, and the greatest city we visited was Barcelona.
This must be the most famous building in Barcelona. Casa Batlló was designed by Antoni Gaudí between 1904 and 1906. He was the most famous Catalan architect, and Gaudí's style is often referred to as Catalan modernism. Catalan modernism was the most dominant art school in the early 20th century in Catalan-speaking territories. However, it did have its equivalent art schools in different European countries, such as Art Nouveau in France or Jugendstil in Germany, or Secession in Austria-Hungary. Casa Batlló is a bit weird but very beautiful building. Due to its skeleton-like shapes, it has some organic feel to it. Gaudí had a deep Christian faith, which is represented in this building as well. The tower, for example, has inscriptions referring to Jesus, Virgin Mary, and Saint Joseph. Another one of these weird but beautiful Gaudí houses stands in the same street. Casa Milà was finished in 1910 and it is known for its twisting iron balconies and of course for its chimneys that look like sculptures.
Spain in studying Spanish. They came from a wealthy background. Not like you don't see ordinary students guys.
Come out to the balcony and check it out. We have a huge balcony to enjoy the evenings. Looks like some root just grew from under the ground, turned into this church. Next to the Sagra Familia, it's time for another beer, right, Reuben?
I was waiting for this second.
At least let's drink.
Good job.
is great.
How does it taste like?
It's very sweet.
Sweet and oily.
Warm. Yeah, no, really.
It's like oil. Deep fried oil.
Uh-huh. So it tastes
It's good, it's sweet.
so good. Nice.
Okay, we are here in central Barcelona. Just chilling out with some Estrella. And with two kinds of beers, big and small. Yeah. Yeah.
Big, small, and large.
And we got three glasses of water, and then that's perfect because there is one bottle and we got 3 glasses. Is that good? And Estrella seems to be the only beer that we can get hold of here in Barcelona. There we go. So, Reuben? Egészségedre. Gábor. Egészségedre. Cheers.
Park Güell is, of course, also designed by Gaudi. Based on the order of a guy named Güell, Güell purchased a large land on a hillside overlooking Barcelona and the sea and hired Gaudi for land development. You have to buy a ticket to access the central area of the park, and there is a limited number for people allowed at once, so you may have to wait a lot for your turn. Walking up the stairs, you arrive to a large hall with 86 columns. It is an interesting location, and its only purpose is to support a terrace above it that was originally designed to be the marketplace of the suburban area.
a beautiful tonight.
The park houses a large zoo, which is the main attraction of the Park de la Ciutadella. We did not really go to visit the zoo, but rather settled with this lonely goose. We decided to go to more urban places and walk to the old town of Barcelona. It is called Barri Gothic or Gothic Quarter, because it is the location for old and mainly Gothic style buildings. There is Basilica de Santa Maria del Mar, for example. It is a large medieval cathedral constructed between 1329 and 1383. The building shows a strong construction of massive walls and towers, but it is located between very narrow streets, so it is difficult to have an overall impression. Plaza del Rey is translated as King Square, and it is a medieval square constructed sometime in the 14th century. Many of the buildings here date from medieval times, and the streets are so narrow that this quarter is generally closed to regular traffic, and the little streets feel like a labyrinth system where we did get lost a couple of times. Eventually all the small streets open into smaller and larger squares. It was at one of these squares that we arrived to the Barcelona Cathedral. The Barcelona Cathedral is a large Gothic cathedral and also the seat of the Archbishop of Barcelona. There stood a Christian church in Barcelona as early as the 4th century. Over time, several churches were constructed and destroyed. A Romanesque church stood at this site in the 11th century, and construction of the present-day church started in 1298 on the foundations of the previous churches. The main parts of the Gothic cathedral were built in the 14th century, and the total time of construction took about 150 years. Buildings are constructed so close to each other that ancient buildings are totally obscured by the neighboring buildings, so be careful not to miss large constructions like this one, the Santa Maria del Pi. This old church was constructed in the 14th century in Catalan Gothic style, and its name means Blessed Mary of the Pine Tree and refers to Virgin Mary. We finished walking around in the Gothic quarter and went to find a nice pub.
Okay, so we are in this craft beer place in Barcelona where Reuben is taking a picture of my beer. Right, Reuben?
Yeah.
Because I have this stout, it's 9%. Gabor, what do you have?
Iberian Imperial IPA.
Okay, so that's this guy right here. Reuben doesn't even know what he has. Although it is still only beer number 4 today.
Lord with his beer shot.
Yeah, I am with this Three Frogs beer shot, which looks pretty ugly, but let's hope the best. No, it's not bad. Cheers, Gabor.
How is it?
It's very convincing. It was really convincing, but surprisingly this is really not bad. If anybody wants to try.
Okay, we are low on battery. We are low on battery.
This is like piss and shit mix.
Honey and smoke.
But this one's great.
Cabs are not expensive at all in Barcelona, so the next day we took a cab to Tibidabo, a mountain overlooking the city.
Okay, so we just took a cab all the way up here to see this church.
On the summit of Tibidabo mountain stands the Sagra Cor Church. This church was built in the 20th century, but the project already started about 100 years earlier. The church is called Sacred Heart of Jesus. Just like the Sacré-Cœur Church at an elevated point in Paris, the church looks truly unique. The lower part, the crypt, is built in a Romanesque style, just like a fortress. On its top, there is a huge terrace, and in the middle of that stands a monumental neo-Gothic church that is accessible via 2 grand stairways. We took a bus down to Plaza Catalunya, from where we started walking down La Rambla.
Przyczyną był błąd w obserwacji tego a na początku, ponieważ Marcel nie znał
Walking on the La Rambla street, we found the entrance to the big market, called La Boqueria.
Okay, so we are having chicken paella right now in the middle of Barcelona. And what is the street called? La Rambla? La Rambla. Yeah, so I hope it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
The sangria is great.
After making several stops on La Rambla, Reuben suggested to go to the beach.
Vamos a la playa, Reuben.
So we walked down La Rambla all the way to the sea. There's a huge monument at the end of La Rambla commemorating Christopher Columbus.
We are going into the Mediterranean Sea. This is Reuben swimming. Yeah, he looks like he's drowning, but Wait, you need to be in the sun, Oh, fuck it, It's just... So, I took a video of Reuben. Okay, I go back to Gabor and drink. Állj ebbe a sorba. I am here with these fun people because we are having the 5th sangria, right? And you have like what? Regular pizza. You're boring. Boring. What do you have?
Regular pizza also.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be great. I like it. I like it a lot actually. Hey! I hope so. I definitely hope so. Okay. Let's do the churro stuff.
The next morning we went to have breakfast at Plaza Catalunya, where we had chocolate con churros again.
Nice.
Then we went to the airport to pick up our rental car, which is this guy here, an Audi A1 1.6 liter diesel. We paid a fortune for this car. Then we drove to this small town called Villafranca. We were kinda tired by the time we got there, and actually people don't really speak English here, so we had the hardest time ordering our drinks. Anyway, at least we had fun. And then we got back into the car and drove to our next destination, which was Montserrat.
And now here in Montserrat.
This is basically an abbey which is located on the Montserrat mountain. The entire scenery is breathtaking and the drive that gets you there is just beautiful. This is one of the most popular religious sites in Catalonia. The abbey was established in the 11th century, and then the basilica building that you can see today was constructed in the second half of the 16th century. As we were standing and looking at this amazing landscape, I asked Reuben to tell me his opinion about Montserrat, and then he turned into this lovely travel agent.
So Reuben, tell us what you think about Montserrat
I
so
think
far.
Montserrat is the most beautiful place you find in Spain. It has a beautiful landscape, nice mountains. You need to see the views. There you can come and see to yourself the handwork of God. You can appreciate the beauty of nature. You see the most beautiful rocks you've ever seen in your life. If you look down, you see beautiful villages, nice landscape, full of life. People are happy, smiling. And if you come with me this way, you see there's a beautiful rock this way. This you'll never see in your life. And this tells us how much more we have to see in the world of world created by God out of His.
Well done, Reuben. Thank you.